Senator Townsend, are you ready to vote yet? While we have a little lull, I'll take you.
Yes, ma'am. Madam President, permission to explain my vote.
Proceed.
So, 2 years ago, I was made the chair of the elections committee over in the House. And in an effort to learn as much as I could about, more than what I had known to that point, I went on several tours around the state of county recorders' offices, down south, up north. And I waited so I could learn as much as I could before I went to the Maricopa County recorders, because I know them being the largest. Once I went at least 3 times, maybe 4, if my memory serves me correctly, bringing different legislators with me. And each time I got the spiel as to why we should go with the Dominion machines, why we should invest and fast track the legislation to go ahead and move forward with these. And the reason is the new way of adjudicating the ballots. Before, if somebody spoiled their ballots, the person would have to re-vote the entire ballot. But this time, and those legislators that were with me will remember, they had big screen TVs and they had 2 people working there and everyone could see the TV, and they would scan the ballots and they would only have to adjudicate the race that got spoiled. And that, isn't this great? And you can now go and inspect those adjudicated ballots with ease, and you can have full transparency, and you would be able to reassure whoever was doing the audit that this was done correctly. So when we went forward, not realizing and not knowing, man, if hindsight being 2020, if we only knew then what we know now, would never have approved that system if we had known that what they were telling us in theory was true, but in practice was not true. When we wanted to look at those and see how did we do on the adjudication, the door would be closed in our face and we would be accused of all kinds of things. I was told by Marissa Hamilton, former candidate for the mayor of Phoenix, that when she looked at the RFP, what was there of it for Dominion, that part of what the selling point was that you could take those ballots and post them online. Now, that comes with a caveat. I'm not 100% sure that I'm right about that, but I want to say, and I believe that she said that these ballots, because they're secret ballots, you can post the file online for people to look through, and that the county recorder chose not to do that. So if that's true, and if you can post those online, and if it's true that we were sold a product that we would be able to go back and look at and audit to make sure that this was done correctly, if all of that was true, why, when it's time to do this audit, are we being stopped? The reason that has been put out in the press is because, unfortunately, by law, it has to be by court order according to Arizona Revised Statute 16-624. That says, it's in the possession of the courts, the court order, and the courts will be responsible for this. But that talks about recounts and challenges. If there's a recount or a challenge, right now, we're not recounting anything. And as far as I'm aware, there's no candidate who's challenging the outcome of an election. So 16-624 does not apply to what we're talking about here. So you cannot tell the public that we are compromising the secret ballot and they're protecting the public's information when they are not. And you cannot tell the public that this is against the law based on 16-624 when it is not. That leads you to ask the question, why? Why so much energy to prevent us, the Senate, from exercising power And for those who don't know what plenary power is, it's unobstructed power to be able to exercise that which you're talking about. You can't create any law, any statute to change that power. It is given to us in the Constitution. So I contacted a constitutional scholar, Rob Nadelson, just to be sure. And he even gave me a court case that reaffirms our plenary power and our ability to investigate. It's Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association versus Padilla, a 2016 California Supreme Court ruling. It reaffirms that the Senate has the ability to investigate, a plenary power to investigate. No statute, no other court decision, nothing can stop that. We have the ability to investigate. We were promised and sold a product with the mindset that if we wanted to investigate, we could see it. So why the political gymnastics to prevent that? All that does is lead the public to believe, because I have a hard time believing that any lawyer worth their salt is going to sell these county supervisors on the fact that they cannot legally allow us to go in and look at these based on 16.624. It's very clear. So they must know that this is political gymnastics. So it leads the public to believe they are hiding something. A 2-second perusal of Facebook and you will find it. They're hiding it. Arrest them. The constant emails that we're getting all day long, the public believes there's an attempt to hide something. And it's really hard for this senator to believe otherwise at this point. So the last thing I'm going to say is your word is supposed to mean something. If you said that we should support Dominion because it's transparent and easier to use and you'll be able to audit it, and then you go back on that word, your word is never going to be trusted again. If you say you're going to vote along with your caucus and then you do not, your word is never going to be trusted again. So now it's in the hands of the public. And I'm understanding that several groups that were independent have recently formed a coalition to take care of this on their own. And I'm embarrassed that they have to do this. It should be us doing it. But we have someone who has reneged on his word, and now it's going to have to go into the hands of the public. And right now, the last place this needs to be is in a place where the public is so lathered up over all of this. We need to do this in a way that's professional, legal, and proper. Not that the public's not, but they shouldn't have to do this on our behalf. So I'm embarrassed, I'm ashamed, and I'm disappointed that those I believed have completely destroyed my confidence in them. So public, do what you got to do. And with that, this is Senator Kelly Townsend voting aye on SCR 1005.